Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning, 15 minutes to change our lives. Kuntres we're up to Maimer base. So as we just quick summary, we said in Maimer Aleph, we discussed, also in Maimer base, we're going to discuss different types of shtusim that cause us to go against the Torah, unfortunately, from the yetzer hara, and how it works. And like I said in the beginning, we discussed the whole Kuntres essentially is teaching us how to understand ourselves and our yetzer haras and how to deal with it. And so in the first Maimer, which was, I think, 3 prakim, we talked about there's 2 types of, there's shtus and there's turning away, which are the same thing. The yetzer hara comes. We have to appreciate the yetzer hara, and we have to remind ourselves, like I'm talking, we're not talking about some yetzer hara somewhere out in the world. It's within us. And this is the battle that we have every day and constantly having with ourselves. And this is the yetzer hara that we're talking about. The yetzer hara, we have to realize the worst part of the yetzer hara is that on one hand it comes and tells us to do something, whatever it is, go to bed late, don't take care of ourselves, or don't speak to ourselves nicely, or don't speak to others nicely, and or whatever it is. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, don't do Torah, don't do mitzvahs. It doesn't matter if I don't say davening, or I don't say bracha, I don't wash my hands, whatever it is. And everyone has to figure it out for themselves what that yetzer hara is for themselves. But then he gets you to do it. So fine, you do it. That's already bad. But the worst part about it is the yetzer hara becomes the makatrig, and it's like the witness to your aveirah. Says, hey, I saw that person doing aveirah. You're like, what? So you check me under the bus, and that's exactly the yetzer hara. And that's sort of the worst part about it. And that's sort of what we're talking about. And then we discussed also there's different levels of where we should be. That there's pleasure. And there's holy pleasure. There's pleasure of eating, which is a low-based pleasure. And then also the highest pleasure is learning Torah, connecting to Hashem, is intellectual pleasure. And that's how, and also we learned that we are the choices of creation. And we have to say to ourselves, when we're doing something that's below our dignity, we have to build a dignity and say, hey, to me, to do this, me to light Shabbos candles, late or whatever it is, and me to not wash nagavasa. I'm the choice of creation. It's not shaykh for me, and that way it will get us. And I can tell you from the little that I've been learning, it has already had a big impact on me, and reminding myself of these things and thinking about it this way. And this is a very important point. When we come to face something, you say, one sec, who am I? I'm a nefesh kiss. I'm connected to Hashem. I'm the whole purpose of creation. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not going to do this. That's what we're reminding ourselves. Now we're going to talk about, sounds so easy, but there's a lot of problems involved. And this is the yetzer haras. Let's see, Maimer base. Parak Aleph. So from Maimer base and Maimer till Maimer Daled, we're going to discuss about different yetzer haras. Everything we talked about till now, we're essentially talking about permissible things. Like we said, Kaddish is atzmecha b'muterlach. That you have to sanctify yourself. What is permissible? Meaning, we're discussing in essence things that are not asur, that are permissible. But then we have the yetzer hara that gets us also to do things that are forbidden against the Torah. And how does the yetzer hara get us to do this? It's against the Torah. And in our right mind, we would never do that. And this is also an important point. We have to recognize there's me. And then there's my yetzer hara, me, which is the one that's pulling me to do things that don't make any sense for me. And then we have to remind ourselves, who am I? I'm the person that does the good things. But I have a yetzer hara that's coming and pulling me to do these wrong things, even things against the Torah. But it's not that I'm going against the Torah. It's the part of me that has connection to the yetzer hara that's pulling me to do it. And how? But he says it's going to be good. And he makes it so enticing and tempting that I just can't hold myself back. And unfortunately, we fall prey to this, even though it's against the Torah. And whatever it is, and if we analyze ourselves, like we talked about before, if we think about it, we'll find that scenario, and we'll unfortunately we realize we fall in this. So that doesn't mean we're bad people. It means we have yetzer hara. But how does this come? How does the yetzer hara manage to get us to do something that's an aveirah? So how? Who like it says himself to Shabbos, kachi umnasa shel yetzer hara. This is the trick of the yetzer hara. I say chach, I say kach. The yetzer hara comes and he says, today, he doesn't come and say, come, let's do this aveirah. He says, he does it slowly, slowly. It's the little things. You don't even like, oh, what's the big deal? That's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. But that's yetzer hara. Until he gets you to the point of doing aveirah. Now, how does it work? But first, he starts off with things that are permissible. Yetzer hara tells us something, whatever, you still lied. It's still within the time of the 18 minutes. I used to light 25 minutes before candle lighting. Now I'm like, just 20. It's a big deal. Just 20. I used to wash my bed. Now I just put a little further. And those little things are the what causes it. And we don't recognize it. That's sort of the problem. This is the way it's easier to get to a person to transgress. And what does that cause? But there's nothing wrong with what we're doing, but what it causes, it becomes us to be more coarse, less refined, less sensitive. Because it causes the ruts and the desire, the nefesh bahamis, to get stronger and stronger, want more things. It becomes so strong that it wants every taiva. You feed it, so it wants more. A simple example of this, that from my own experience for many years ago, and I'm sure we could all have an example much like recently. It's just something that like I remember when I realized it, I was like, whoa. When I learned this, I was like, whoa, this is exactly it. So when I finished I was like 3 years in yeshiva in America. I'm originally from Australia, so I was 3 years in yeshiva in America. And I took an achot and if we're praying that I go back to Australia, I'm a different person now, and now I was wearing my hat and jacket, and I'm from and all these things. But I didn't learn chassidus the way I did now, and so it was very trying to be real, but I would say a lot of it superficial. And I did, in those days it was more of a chiddush to walk around with a hat and jacket all the time, especially in the summer. It gets pretty hot, and I would do it, and I pushed through, and I felt this is the way to keep myself chassidus. That was sort of the different issue, but it was to keep myself chassidus. And then I'll try to go to the Farangans. Have a yeshiva there, and I'd go to the Farangans. And I remember I tried to invite a friend to come, and I said to him, come, you want to go? There's a Farangan. He's like, I don't want to go. I'm not interested. So I said to him, what do you mean? There's free food, there's mashka. What else do you need? He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll come. And he came. And so I would always try to go to the Farangans. And then it came a point, maybe it was like close to a year later, 8 months in, and there was a Farangan. And I said to myself, like, I don't really want to go. And then I reminded myself of the conversation I had with my friend, that I convinced him by saying there's free food and free mashka. So I said, hey, but there's free food and free mashka. And I was like, yeah, still don't want, I'm not interested. And that, I was like, it hit me like, whoa, like I'm gone down so far that now I don't want to go to the Farangan. So I pushed myself to go. But this is the way the yetzer hara got me. What happened? How did I get to that point? I'm not exactly sure. It's these little things that he got me. Got me to do things, little things. You come a little late to davening. I won't come so early. Whatever it is, we all have our things that we pay attention to. It's these little steps, And so he got me to that point. So I was able to, at that point, to see, I'm like, whoa, I got to change this. But this is what we're saying. This is the yetzer hara gets us. So we say, wait a second. And the problem is, I was lucky enough to see it, but a lot of times we don't even see it. When we fall in that direction, we don't recognize it, and suddenly our mindset changes. And suddenly we're like thinking in a different way, and you won't even recognize it. You don't never used to think this way, and that's what the yetzer hara is doing. Now we have to understand something. Everyone has a different nefesh bahamis. So something. I remember when I was in yeshiva, it was a hard time. It was hard for me learning. It wasn't natural. It wasn't like just sit down and learn. And there was some people that just learn was easy, and they wouldn't talk to you, wanted to get distracted, just learn. And it was very impressive for me. But we have to understand, it's not that necessarily he worked on himself more than me. It's just different natures that we have. Some people's nefesh b'hamis is not so strong. They don't have taivas for everything. They don't have all these and you all know, unless you're that person, you have some people that just naturally just, they don't look like they struggle, and we look at ourselves, I have all these issues. So some people have it less, different. The thing that they desire, and there's something they don't even care about. They don't need, it's not even, they don't care so much about. And even this, that they have a desire for something, it's not as strong. For some people, I need to have that cake or that chocolate or that movie or whatever it is, or that Instagram, whatever it is. Some people, whatever, not so bad. It says recht as nit euch. It's not even be nice to have. It doesn't matter, even if I don't get it. And then you have a nefesh b'hamis, a person that nefesh b'hamis is so strong. It he wants everything. The nefesh b'hamis, whatever he sees, he wants. And I need it. And this desire that we have is so strong and so powerful. And it won't settle, won't stop until we fulfill this. And this is a different nefesh b'hamis. Some people have nefesh b'hamis, and it could be in certain areas that nefesh b'hamis is one way, in certain areas nefesh b'hamis is another way. And everyone has a nefesh b'hamis in their way. And so therefore also, again, we have to recognize there's us and there's the nefesh b'hamis. And so it's what it is. For some person, you'll see them like, so fortunate. And we should never look at other people and compare, because everyone has their struggles, what it is for them. So we never should look at it and compare. But we have to understand we all have different nefesh b'hamis. Could be that we have a nefesh b'hamis that's not so strong, but it becomes strong. Because when we keep on feeding it once and more, when we get into a routine of something healthy, whatever it is, healthy eating, go to bed on time, things like this, the better the routine, the easier it becomes to follow. But if we're constantly feeding nefesh b'hamis, it's going to get worse. And even if by nature it's not so strong, but if I don't have such a strong desire to eat cheesecake, but if every day I eat cheesecake, it's just going to get worse, and the desire is going to get bigger. Become more coarse, more literally thick. Yeah, becomes strong intrinsically. Because even though by nature it's not actually that strong, it's nature versus nurture. We have a nature of the nefesh b'hamis, and we have the nurture of the nefesh b'hamis. And it could be, we have to make sure we're not nurturing it. It's enough to deal with the nature of the nefesh b'hamis, but we shouldn't nurture it. However, we have to realize that ultimately makes it worse and becomes once more and more and more. And what we're seeing here and what we're understanding is again, we have to learn ourselves. And we have to see, are we feeding my nefesh b'hamis, or are we taking care of it and trying not to feed it? And nefesh b'hamis is not that he doesn't want good things. It's an animal once, and we can transform it and train it to want good things. But what we have to understand is, where is it holding, and which direction is it going, and how can I help it go in the right direction? And now we're going to discuss that also the problem is, because when this happens, you can't have the nefesh b'hamis up here and desiring everything, and nefesh l'kis also up here. They counterbalance each other. The strength of nefesh b'hamis geirem chalishus hanefesh l'kis. It causes a weakening of the nefesh l'kis. Like it says, tukva the gufa, strength of the body, chulsha the neshama, the weakness of the neshama. The stronger the nefesh b'hamis, the more we feed the nefesh b'hamis, the less we can connect. The Turk of Achumias, Nefesh Bahamis, the causes of the Nefesh Bahamis, Greirem Chalish, Nefesh causes the weakening of the Nefesh Lekis. The lie me by Shemisrachik Moimita Aveirah, Shevalev Zutzvila, not only does it distance ourselves from wanting to learn Torah and wanting to daven properly, it makes it hard to even understand Goli ideas. Kind of learn something, I don't know what's talking about, I'm not connected. And to be able to meditate and understand the Goli ideas actually until it'll affect us, and we'll be drawn to these Goli things. Go into cleave to Hashem, all this doesn't work. It's not shaykh at all. meaning it's like the simple example: a person wants to lose weight, but they're sitting eating junk food, and they like, I don't have any motivation to go up and do exercise. It's like, well, yeah, if you're not feeding yourself the right things, it's not going to get you to where you want to go. I want to be a Talmud Chacham, whatever. I want to be a learner. I want to be more connected. But you can't sit there and do things that disconnect you and expect to somehow become connected. We got to realize, if I want to be connected, what am I doing that's not connecting me? How do I diminish it a little bit? And how do I do things that help me connect? And tomorrow we'll continue and Mitzvah Hashem finish the parak. And again, the whole discussion is recognizing An Nefesh Bahamis. Where is it? When is it talking? How strong is it? How can I weaken it a little bit? And how can I strengthen my Nefesh Lekis? So we feel more connected. We have more of that connection with Hashem. Mitzvah Hashem, with all our that we're doing, will help all the soldiers in Eretz Yisrael and all the people in Eretz Yisrael. And ultimately, enough of this and Golas and Gula. Mitzvah Hashem very soon. Have a great day.